Hey, Debbie. All right, let's get this party started, I suppose, Ash.
All right, looks like we are ready to go.
So, as we are waiting for our PowerPoint to pop back up, welcome everybody to our community cafe this evening. We are having technical difficulties with our Zoom, so please bear with us um, as we continue. So, do I need to be looking at the power? Okay, there it is. Thank you, Lord.
Give me one moment, everybody. I was sharing, but nobody could see that apparently. All right.
Yeah.
Can we see okay. Can we see the screen yet?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So welcome. And um, you can go ahead. All right. And so here's our agenda for this evening. Hopefully we can get through the whole thing without any snafus, but we shall see. And so we're going to go through our greeting and introduction, some program highlights. We have some guest speakers. Then we'll talk about upcoming events and next steps. And then we have a closing and an affirmation we hope that we get to do. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we are focusing this community cafe on the mental health in particular of young children, yes.
All right, good
And we will
evening,
now hear.
everyone. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Good evening, everyone. I am Tatiana Elmore, the president of Black Child Development Institute, and thank you all so much for joining us here tonight for our community cafe on nurturing mental health in Black children. We are having conversations with some guest speakers tonight so we can learn how to support Black children's mental health through a community support approach. As we gather tonight, we want to make sure that you're listening and learning on how we will address this important issue that impacts the lives of our children in our community. As we are very aware, mental well-being, is critical for young children's development. So we want to invite you into this space to hear from our guest speakers who will be able to provide us all with a deeper understanding of some of these challenges and how it does affect our children's mental health. But we also want to listen and learn from practical strategies and tools that we can use to support their emotional well-being. As we are all gathered here today, we love sharing resources because we are a community of support that provide resources in order to support our children individually. So we want to make sure that you are here again to listen, to learn, and leave here today with a new purpose and understanding of how to support our young children when nurturing mental wellness. Thank you all so much again for being here.
I'm sorry. Okay, and so we have some community agreements for this evening. We hope that we will together create a safe space where we respect one another's experiences and feelings. What's shared here this evening stays here unless someone is at risk. one voice at a time. So we want to listen fully when others are speaking because everyone deserves to be heard without interruption. We would like to ask that you be present, give your full attention, limit distractions when possible, and engage with care. Speak from the I. This one's important, right? Share your own experiences and feelings and avoid generalizations or assumptions about others, as well as sharing someone else's story without permission. Cameras on if comfortable. So showing your face, we love to see your faces. It helps to build connection. But if you need to leave your camera off, that's okay as well. We want you to ask with curiosity because there are no bad questions. Be open to learning and unlearning. Practice compassion. We honor emotions. Be gentle with yourself as well as others. And then take care of yourself. Stretch, step away, breathe, do whatever you need to feel well and stay regulated throughout this evening. So, if you would introduce yourselves in the chat, you can give us your name, your agency, center, school, business, and then what are your plans to relax this summer? Not just what are your plans up for the summer, but what are your plans to make sure you relax this summer? And if you all will go ahead and start putting those in the chat, and if I could get some help in the chat room while I handle a text.
Hello, hello, Miss Ajo. How you doing? From
I'm doing well.
CCPS.
Yes.
You're gonna travel to Africa? That's amazing. I want to go. Can you put me in your suitcase? I would love to.
Sure, no problem.
Hey, Nathan, that's our board member at BCDI Atlanta. Hey, hey. Nathan shows up to everything. You guys are used to seeing his face. We really appreciate him being a part of the family. Tatiana, I see you traveling with the girls across Georgia. Are you doing a road trip? Like, I don't remember us
Yes,
talking about
I'm
that.
going to take them to St. Simon's Island, where I just came from speaking at the Georgia Head Start Conference. We're getting on the road this summer.
I love that. I love that. You get to see more, experience more, and it's more spontaneous too. I love that. Hey, Dr. Alderman, one of our speakers tonight. I'm super excited to hear what you have for us. She's planning on being intentional about self-care. Oh, 3-2-1 method. I haven't heard of this one. I might have to steal this. 3 daily meditations, 2 small trips, such as a nature park or a nature hike, and then 1 big trip for June and July. I like that. It makes it a little more doable, less intimidating. I like that. Little Grand Canyon in Georgia. I haven't heard of that one, Nathan. Yay, graduating. That's a big deal. It's graduation season. Congratulations to all the families of those who are graduating this year. Hello, hello, Miss McKenzie. Water aerobics classes. That's amazing. So I started doing swim lessons. That's amazing.
Awesome. Well, you all can continue to put your plans in the chat and we're going to move forward. Thank you, Ashley. Tatiana.
All right. I'm sorry. I was in the chat trying to see where everybody going this summer. So at BCDI Atlanta, our mission is to improve and advance the quality of life for our Black children and families through education and advocacy. You all, we have been receiving amazing opportunities despite everything that's going on. We have our 4 key focus areas here, and we recently received a great opportunity with DECAL to support our Expand ECE, which is our Early Care and Education Fellowship Program, where soon you will receive an email in our newsletter regarding an opportunity to bring on some new fellows, where we will provide them with coaches that I always call them the cheerleaders for the fellows. And we're super excited about that opportunity to begin very soon. We also received an amazing opportunity with the Georgia Reads on Council to receive a grant to support our Read to Succeed literacy program, where our goal is to increase the number of at-home libraries with books for children that reflect them. I am sitting in my living room and looking at these 1,000 books that we received from Coach Malcolm Mitchell. We recently had a community event where he did a reading rally with the pre-K students at Easter Seals on Sylvan Road. Amazing experience. And the board is here, so some of the board can hear this new announcement. They haven't received it yet. We received a new opportunity with Fund Georgia's Future to bring back our Lifted Voices Public Policy Fellowship. I am super excited. Board members who are here, you're the first board to know. Email was coming, but we're here right now. We're super excited about that. So very soon you will receive more updates about our programs that we're having. But if you know someone who's interested in learning more about our programs and enrolling in these, please share those resources. But again, we're really excited about these new opportunities that we have. All right, so as we continue to do our work, we could not do it without the support of NBCDI, who has established these 8 essential outcomes for Black children, where if the children are exposed to these outcomes, they will receive a higher quality of life in their early learning experiences. So we continue to support 6 of the 8 essential outcomes through our programs and services. The programs that I just mentioned all fall within these 8 essential outcomes. So we're super excited to continue the work based on NBCDI's 8 essential outcomes for Black children development. Right. And I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Sharon. Thank you all for joining.
And so in preparation for our speakers, I would like to just share this video. It's about 4 minutes long, that talks a little bit about our history in the Black community with mental health. We kind of, I think many of us know that in our community, in the Black community, it has been a little taboo, or a lot taboo, right, to speak about mental health or the need for support with mental health. So, Ashley, you can. Uh-oh. I don't hear anything. Is it just me?
Yes, that's correct.
That share sound button, I always forget it.
Me too. I don't think I
Here
warned her that there
together,
was.
sponsored by Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon.
I'm all about advocacy. I'm all about talking about it. But the powers to be, man, let's move past the talk and support the talk.
And this week's Healthier Together, we're continuing our conversation with Dr. Keith Dempsey about mental health, how to talk about it.
And today, the challenge is unique to the Black community. Brittany Falkers has the story.
I am a clinician, I am a speaker, I am a community advocate, I am whatever my people need.
Do you see that?
There's those nuances there.
Dr. Keith Dempsey is on a mission to empower people to talk about mental health and, in turn, have better health overall.
I love helping people. I love giving them an opportunity to find that special thing within themselves to make themselves better.
He works in Portland and has taken his message on the road to break stigmas and get people talking.
It's not just the talking about it. It's creating the space for listening. The reason we don't talk about it because we can't trust people with our vulnerabilities.
But creating trust and breaking down stigmas around mental health comes with historical and systemic scars within the Black community.
There's a history in the medical systems, there's a history in the mental health systems that African American folks have not been treated well. So when you haven't been treated well and you haven't gotten good outcomes, you are in a place that's not safe, you stay away from those places. Sometimes in the African American communities, we say we're just going to keep on keeping on.
Research shows that this can cause generations of families to ignore mental illness, which is then compounded by the stress of systemic racism. It's estimated that African American adults are 20% more likely to report serious psychological distress than white adults, but far less are likely to seek treatment. Statistics show that about 25% of African Americans seek mental health treatment compared to 40% of white Americans.
It's time to be able to listen and take care of folks in their vulnerable space, in their vulnerable spaces. Because when we can do that, then folks will know it's okay not to be okay. And I have safety in the room.
And maybe that's in a church, a community center, or in your own family or friendships. Dr. Dempsey says it's essential to create safe spaces for people to talk.
And for those of us who are not mental health counselors, guess what? You all don't have to do anything but listen. It's so easy to say, if I were you, but guess what? You're not. It's so easy to say, you know what, my grandmother died, I felt that way. No, you didn't. That's my grandmother. You can probably relate. I just need for you to listen and create some safe space.
And when it comes to getting mental health care, it can be hard for people of color to find therapists and counselors who look like them. So when finding professional help, Dr. Dempsey suggests asking that potential counselor, therapist, or doctor if they've ever counseled a person of color, and ask them about their approach.
If this person says, great question, I'm glad you put that forth, and opens it up and starts talking about anti-racist systems and starts talking about the racism that has been in the system, and is okay talking about how hurtful and harmful it has been, boy, that's a place you can think about being.
And Dr. Dempsey is putting the onus on people in power to make real changes, to create more safe and culturally diverse places for people to talk about mental health, create community, and find help. Brittany Folkers, KGW News.
For more resources and more stories to help start
All right, so we now have a little bit of a backdrop, and we will hear some more information from our guest speakers. So our community cafe was created as an environment where parents, child-serving professionals, and early education stakeholders can support each other's journey to improve and advance the quality of life for Black children and their families. And so, as we said tonight, we're focusing on mental health, and our guest speakers are next slide. There we go. Our featured speakers for tonight are Sharon Myers, and she is the owner of See My Dog, Child and Family Development Services, LLC, and Dr. Clarissa Alderman, who is a children and family therapist with Family Insight LLC, her practice. So I am going to go ahead and we will ask if Ms. Sharon Myers will come forward, and then you can just introduce yourself to the group for us, Sharon, if you will.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sharon Myers. I can't see myself, but I don't know if you all can see me. I'm having some difficulties with here I
We
am.
can see you.
There I am. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, I'm Sharon Myers. I'm a children's book author. I've been working in mental health and disabilities for over 30-something years, in education, in the arena of working with children and their development. I consider myself like the little drama girl, very practical and plain and just simple approaches to working with families and children. Um, so I'm like, it's a cafe and we're just going to talk. So I wanted to just share because I can't get all of my information up. I'm just going to share a couple of stories, highlight some stories in which we can dissect and talk about nurturing children's mental health. There was a little fella that I worked with. He was on my caseload to attend a meet and greet, and his mom and him were not able to make it. So I called her and to share with her with what went on in the meeting. And as I talked to her and shared with her and told her about it, at the end I say, and I'm gonna call him Jamarcus. Tell Jamarcus I said happy birthday. And the mom stated, "Oh, it's his birthday today?" And I'm on the other end of the phone. Of course, I didn't signify that that was heart throbbing, but I just said to her, "Well, yes, it's his birthday today." She said, "Oh, maybe that's why he acted the way he did this morning before he went to school." Marcus was about in the eighth grade, and she stated that he just had a fit before he went to school. He was throwing things around and just just upset when he left. So she said maybe that's why he act that way. And so I said to her, okay, and I'm saying this and sharing this with you all because in nurturing our children's mental wellness or their mental health, our emotional state, sometimes we make a oops, but it's never too late. So once she shared that with me, I said, okay, Mom, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make his day. And she was like, Miss Sharon, I don't have money. I said, it's okay. I said, well, he's at school here with me now. So I want you to come to the school. Well, I don't have transportation. I said, no problem. I'll come and get you. Then she stated, I'll let my older son bring me. So I said, okay. So what I did, I said, this is what I want you to do, Mom. And in working with families, you want them to be as authentic as possible. I said to her, now you did forget his birthday, but it's okay. Well, I got these bills. I said, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to work this out. What I want you to do, I'm going to have you come to the school and we're going to place you in the closet. And when I tap on the door, I want you to come out and I want you to say these words. I want you to say, you thought I forgot your birthday and happy birthday. Don't say I didn't forget because dealing with nurturing mental wellness, we want it to be whole all around. And we don't want to start being false, parents telling false. She actually forgot his birthday. So the brother and her came to the school. They brought a little Coca-Cola and had a balloon tied together, and we placed them in the office. The principal and everybody said it was okay. We called Jamarcus up. He was coming pretty slow because normally he get called up for other reasons. So when he came up, I tapped on the door. And when I tapped on the door, she jumped out and said, you thought I forget your birthday. Happy birthday. Jamarcus' smile was worth $1,000,000. That jump out of the closet turned his whole day. This was about 8:45. So he was gonna, for the rest of the day, was gonna have a hard time because of what happened that morning. And what I want to say to the ones that's on tonight, even if we make a oops, it's never too late. We have to acknowledge and see our children's feelings. Their behavior is going to tell us how they feel. A lot of times, children in the eighth grade, they're finding themselves, finding new friends, just left elementary school, now they're in middle school. So they're not going to talk a lot to their parents. They're going to just show it. So what we can do to nurture it and to mold it and help him have a super fantastic day for the rest of the day, and what Jamarcus did was just that act. So sometimes if we have to become uncomfortable to reach farther into it than we see on the surface, I'm challenging you as parents, as teachers, and just people in general that are working with children. We have to do that. We have to demonstrate it. As Maya Angelou stated, people would sometimes will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And I requote her, children definitely never forget how you make them feel. They may forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And that dictate and determine how their mental wellness will be handled and coped with. So that was an experience with Jamarcus. And so I wanted to say that sometimes if we make a oops, it's okay. It's never too late to fix that. The second situation or scenario is based off of the name of my program that I have, See My Dog. As children, they see what we don't see in themselves. When I was a little girl, I was about 4 or 5 years old. My mom was always on a trip, and I stayed with my grandmother. And the week that she was coming home, I was so excited because I always liked to draw. So I stayed. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay in for recess and draw this picture of a dog for her. And I did. I drew a picture of a dog for her. And when she came home, I showed her the picture of the dog. I say, see, Mama, see the dog I drew for you? Look, look, look. She was like, I don't see a dog. Go in your room and clean up. Get yourself in there and clean up. When I looked at that picture, I really saw a dog, but she did not. So when I was 50 years old, I'm not 64. That was when I was 5. So that was 45 years later. I felt that same feeling that I felt when my mom didn't see the picture of my dog, that a friend hurt my feelings. And I felt that same way. And I was 50 years old. And I was saying, well, goodness, that was never dealt with. So as a little girl growing up, I was so shy and withdrawn. I had low self-esteem. I was bullied. Actually, right in front of my mom, she worked in the cafeteria, and a little girl just kicked me under the table, and she was just like a couple of feet away. But I was too ashamed and had no self-worth because my mom didn't see the picture of my dog. Nobody saw the pictures that I drew, but I saw them. So when my friend hurt my feeling 50 years later, I said, okay, I heard the Spirit of God say to me, this is going to be a stepping stone. Draw a picture of a scribble scrabble of a little girl holding a scribble scrabble. And I don't want to go through the whole story, but that's how See My Dogs were created. I drew a picture of a dog, a little scribble scrabble. Then he said, no, get your son. So I remembered my son. He would draw on the floor. He would draw on the wall. He would draw on his arm. If you stand still, he would draw on you. So I'm saying to you, you got to see what they see, because they see it, we got to see it. So what I did, because my mom didn't see my picture, every time my child's birthday came around, I brought him an easel, I brought him papers to draw with, paints, Christmas, even Easter in the Easter basket. I supported it. And as parents and teachers and just friends and grandmamas, aunties and uncles, we got to support what our children see because it establishes confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, and positive self-esteem because they see it. We got to see it. The little girl that talk all the time, instead of us saying, oh, she just talk, especially in the Black community, she's so fast. She's so grown. No, she could become a leader and the first Black female president if it's nurtured right. So social emotional development is key in nurturing mental wellness in our children. That little boy that drew on the walls and drew all on himself and others, he is now my illustrator for all of my books. I have 6 books that I've written, and my son that did all the drawing on it. Because what I want to say is that thing that is annoying, that gets on our nerve, a lot of times that's our children's gift and skills. And in order to embrace it, we have to accept it and see it as that. We have to nurture it. We have to massage it. We have to support it. We have to put the picture on the refrigerator, put it on our desk in our